Are you out there looking for citizenship options? So many countries out there, not sure which country to go for. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about all the citizenship by investment programs, and we're also going to touch upon some of the residency or golden visa programs that are available around the world. Hi, my name is Muaz Haq from Think Turkey, and in this video we'll be looking at citizenship by investment programs and some golden visa residency programs around the world. So when we're talking about citizenship by investment programs, we can start off at the top and say, from the programs that are most expensive or the most valuable programs are the ones that offer an EU passport, a European Union Schengen country passport. So those would be, number one would be Malta, and number two is Bulgaria. So Malta and Bulgaria are the two countries that offer European Union passports as well as access to the Schengen countries. Now, how much are we looking at investing if we want to get one of these passports through investment? So you are looking at approximately 1 million euros. If you're a family of, let's say, four, you've got two children, you've got a husband and a wife, then you're looking at about 1 million euros, all in all, with application fees and so on. Both of them approximately 1 million euros. Now, that is a lot of money, but let's see what the differences are between Bulgaria and Malta. So Bulgaria, if you look at the location of Bulgaria, it's very close to Turkey. It's actually bordering Turkey. That's where the northern European border is, and Malta is an island, off the coast of Europe. So Malta is more secluded, but the differences are that Bulgaria, is not a Schengen country per se. So it does offer you visa access, free visa, on arrival visa, free access to Schengen countries, but is not a part of Schengen countries. So Malta, on the other hand, is directly a part of that, so you can access all those rights that are available to Schengen countries. Having said that, both are part of the European Union and offer the same privileges. Now let's take a look at the timelines. So in terms of timelines, you're looking at about a year and a half for the Maltese passport. So for Malta citizenship, you're looking at about 18 months, including the processing time and so on from the day that you arrive. Now you don't have to be present there in Malta. Bulgaria is about 24 months. So 18 months to 24 months is not a whole lot of difference. The other thing is that with Bulgaria, you invest your money into the country, into a certain fund or into a specific Bulgarian company that meets the government requirements and so on. So you're actually investing your money, you're not giving it away, versus Malta, it's just a donation. So you're just giving away your money as a donation, which you're not going to get back. So that's the main difference as well. Again, with Bulgaria, the amount that you do invest, you're basically investing in the Bulgarian economy. Now, we don't know how well that's going to play out, and it varies from investor to investor depending on how you invest that. But again, there's very probable chance that you will get most of it back, if not all of it. But you cannot bank that you're going to get all or more, but you might lose a little bit of that million that you do invest. With Malta, it's guaranteed that you're investing $1 million and that's gone, and you're not investing it. Actually, it's a donation to the government, and the process is a little bit quicker. And of course, you're part of the Schengen countries agreement. So that's with Malta and Bulgaria. These are the top two passports that are available by citizenship by investment. Cyprus used to be also one of these passports, but that program was suspended recently. So the other group of countries that you can consider is the Caribbean countries, which offer you a good, affordable, very cost-friendly alternative if you're looking for a passport which gives you a wide range of countries that you can get a visa access to, visa-free access. So with all the Caribbean countries you're looking at is, for example, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda. You've got Dominica, and you've got all those countries out there that provide that passport, and you're roughly looking at about $100,000 for the main applicant. If you're a family, you're looking at about $150,000-$180,000 of a donation. Again, this is not an investment; it's a donation. Some countries might allow a real estate investment, but again, those are not a free, an open sort of, investment. They will limit you as to which projects you can invest in, which is approved by the government and so on. And those types of projects are usually with inflated prices. So that's with the Caribbean. If you're looking for something quick, within 2 to 4 months, you go for the Caribbean. If you're looking for visa-free access to countries like Singapore, UK, Schengen countries and so on, then it's an alternative for those types of people. So there's another set of countries that I want to touch upon that fall under the European umbrella. And those are Italy, Portugal, Spain, Greece, and Latvia. So let me do Latvia first, because Latvia is sort of, it is actually part of the Schengen agreement, but I didn't include it initially because it requires you to be in the country, to stay in the country. Whereas Bulgaria and Malta, you can be there you're there for 2 weeks, and you basically less than 2 weeks, and you can, in and out, and you've done the paperwork, and your passport is processed after that, and you get it in 18 months or 24 months for Bulgaria. Now, if you're looking at Latvia is a very developed country, and obviously it falls into the Schengen zone. You can get the golden visa with $250,000 US. You get a 3 years residence permit. So it is, if you invest in real estate, it's a good way to get a European country access. If you're thinking of living there and getting the residence permit of an EU country, Schengen country, then that's a good option. You've got lots of Vietnamese citizens that prefer that option, and sometimes they even go for the business option with Latvia, which is if you invest 50,000 euros into your own business. But be aware that you do have to pay taxes each year of minimum 40,000 euros. So if your business is functioning and earning lots of revenue, then that makes sense. Otherwise, you go for the real estate with 250,000 euros, and you get that Latvian residence with that. With Latvia, you got to wait for 10 years to get the citizenship. So that's a long wait. You got to be in the country and so on. So that's Latvia. Let's go on to the other countries, which are more, let's say, warmer and very beautiful countries like Italy, Portugal, Spain, and Greece. I'll start off with Italy because Italy is just way out there. You need like 2 million euros in government bonds, or 500,000 euros in Italian shares, and so on. Citizenship is at 10 years. That's just to get the residence permit. So Italy is out of the picture. Let's move on to Portugal now. Portugal is a very favored country when it comes to retirees. Lots of people like it because the healthcare is good, and it's a nice country. It's warm. You got beautiful beaches and so on. Cost is relatively low when it comes comparing to Spain Spain and other European countries. So for this one, you're looking at minimum 350,000 euros if you if you invest in a real estate that requires some renovation. So there's a condition there, or you get any real estate for 500,000 euros. So again, that's a big number. And that 500,000 euros is consistent with Spain as well, 500,000 euros to get the residence permit. Greece is a little bit lower with 300,000 euros. Now with Spain, if you don't need to live there for the residence permit to maintain that, but you do need to live there if you plan on getting your citizenship. With Greece, the same thing. 7 years for citizenship with Greece. With Spain, it's 10. With Portugal, it's 5. So all of these countries require you to live physically there in order to get your citizenship. Now let's move on to some countries which are also offering golden visas and fall under a different category, like sort of Malaysia, UAE, and Qatar recently started this program as well. But Qatar is more limited because Qatar offers it only to the residents who have been living here already. So if you have been living in Qatar, working in Qatar for the last 20 years, if you're not born in Qatar, then it's 20 years. If you're born here, then it's 10 years is the requirement. And then you can invest $200,000 to get a temporary residence permit, or you can invest $1 million and get a permanent sort of residence permit, which allows you more privileges like free schooling and healthcare. Let's move on to UAE. Now, UAE has been offering lots of different things we've been hearing for the past few years. The real estate option with UAE is at 1 million dirhams, which is $272,000. That's the minimum amount, and that gets you a 3 years residence permit, which you can renew. If you invest more than that, let's say 5 times that amount, about $1 million, and that gets you more than $1 million, that gets you a 5 years residence permit, which you can renew. Now, in UAE, of course, there's other ways to live there. You can get a business license, you can invest, just get any sort of freelancer license there and just pay yearly and get that visa. If you want to live there, just keep renewing that. There is another option where you invest 500,000 dirhams, $500,000, as an entrepreneur, and you get a 5 years visa and so on. So there's other options out there for UAE. If you're interested in UAE, there are different options. Malaysia is a beautiful country and very, very organized, clean, nice people. The weather is great. Can get humid at times, but the weather is generally very nice. With Malaysia, the program is quite interesting because you have if you're above 50 years old, there's a different policy. If you're below 50 years old, there's a different policy. Let's start off with below 50. You have to show bankable assets, meaning like money in the bank, which is liquid, of about $114,000, and income of at least $2,300 per month. That's what you have to show, right? Initially to get the residence permit application. And if you're 50 years and above, then the amount from 114 drops down to 80,000. So there's a little bit of advantage, but the monthly income stays the same. You still have to show $2,300. Once you get the initial application approved, you do have to deposit some money in the bank. So not the entire 114, but 68,000 needs to be deposited and kept there. After 1 year, you can withdraw 34, like about half of that. You can withdraw it for expenses. If you're above 50, it's a much lower amount. So you just split that in half again. So 34,000 should be deposited in the bank. And then after 1 year, you can remove $11,500 can be withdrawn for expenses. So Malaysia is a little bit different program. They have recently renewed these conditions. Very popular, lots of digital nomads, people like that, this program. Now for the last option is Turkey, of course. All right, so in Turkey, you're looking at a real estate investment of $250,000 US, and this can be 1 property, 2 property, 3 properties, like it can be as many properties as you can find, whether it's commercial, it can be land, it can be any sort of property worth $250,000, and the time span can be, it doesn't matter how much time. If you buy one today, then the following year, of course, the laws may change, so you have to be wary of that and keep that in mind. So it's better to do it sooner and not wait for too long and just apply and get your passport. Now, what are the conditions? So $250,000, there's no condition in terms of where you invest. It can be different cities, different number of properties, different types of properties, and so on. Now, that is one, right? So you need to hold on to that property. So you can't just buy it, apply for the passport, 6 months later, you get the passport, and then that's it, right? No, you have to, once you buy the property and once you decide to apply, you need to get from the notary, actually the lawyer on your behalf will go and get the property needs to be put on hold, a specific hold needs to be put on it, that you cannot sell this property for 3 years. So 3 years you can't sell. After 3 years, you can sell the property and you still get to keep your citizenship, obviously, stays with you. Now, if you decide to sell after 3 years, the problem is that you pay capital gains tax. If you decide to wait for 5 years, if you decide to wait, 3 and then wait another 2 years, then you don't pay any capital gains tax. So you're exempt from that. Now that's a big advantage. So that way, if you sell after 5 years, wait for a few more years, let that property appreciate in value. And by the way, it is appreciating. I know that many of you may be watching the currency markets and so on, and the value of the currency declining. But on the ground, when it comes to the properties itself, they are immensely, not only holding values, but they are appreciating in value as well. So that concludes the citizenship and residency video for today. Hope you liked that. Please don't forget to click subscribe, click like, and also please do leave your questions and comments and feedback as you always do. That's very helpful, and I will reply to each and every one of you. Inshallah, I'll get to each and every one of you. Sometimes the reply might be delayed, but definitely will try my best to get back to each and every comment. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.